How's it going, dudes? GoPro Hero 4 is much better than the GoPro Hero 7, although the stabilisation, there isn't any, and the image quality isn't as good, but this thing is a temperamental POS, and it's going in the bin, mate. Well, it's not going in the bin, but it's basically going on the scrap heap, and I'm going with DJI, mate, and we'll see how we go with that, because I just cannot believe, like I had it on charge last night, did the card format, put it back on charge this morning just to double check. Yep, red light came on, then it turned off, which means it's fully charged, and come out here this morning and it's dead flat. Can you believe it? Oh, can you actually believe that? Yes, it is true, but guess what? We're not actually here to talk about cameras today. We're actually here to talk about this, I was going to say motorbike. Well, it is kind of a motorbike. It's an electric mountain bike. It's an Accolmile 27.5-inch dual suspension electric mountain bike. It's got a 750 watt Bafang motor, which is 48 volts. It has a current of 25 amps, has a battery capacity of 17.5 amp hours. What else can I tell you about it? It has a maximum speed of 55 k's. It's a pretty insane kind of bike for the money. We're going to do some comparisons between my Focus Jam2, which runs the Bosch Gen 4 250 watt CX line performance motor, and you know, see how it stacks up and see what the quality of the ride's like and how much fun you can have with very little money. Here we go. G'day boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of Get Fit or Die Trying.
Here we go. So, did I put that front wheel on tight enough? We will find out, because we do not want any dramas.
Not wobbling side to side or anything?
No. Let's do it. My seat might not be the right height or whatever, but it seems alright. Let's do it. I can bug around with that later.
So we're going to be doing without my camera for this first video, as the GoPro didn't want to play. It's dead flat, had to whack it on charge. Heaps of walkers out today.
Yep.
So what power mode are you in at the moment?
I'm on 3 and it goes to 9.
Okay, so I'm on eMTB mode, which is basically level 3. So I've got tour. But I'm going to actually put it on eco for now.
Actually, I'm going to put it on level at this.
Put it on level 1. Put it on the at least the mount.
This is level 1.
Yeah.
It's quite hard.
Now how fast can you get up to in level 1?
As hard as I can sort of push.
That seems similar to my eco mode. Yes.
Keep in mind gearing as well, it's only 9.
Yeah, you're on the granny cog.
I'm on the granny cog.
So it's probably...
But if I whack it in 2, and I'm in 3 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is probably... I'm still working.
Yeah?
Yep.
So I'll probably have to go into 2, I reckon. And then I'll start to pull away.
And then I put it in like 9.
You want it to go hard.
Now watch this little sneaky bit. See that little thumb there? Get the motor wind up. Throttle mode.
Start mine, always forget that. Oh, how many Ks did we do?
Oh yeah, the bloody Garmin.
Not even one. Alright.
So what I wanted to get him to do is to get out in front, go hard so I can chase him, so I can get a bit of a workout.
I'm on level 5.
I sort of expected that he might just fly past me and that'll be the end of it. But as we will learn, it's not all about brute power. It's all about how it's delivered. and also rider input and skill. You can see the seat post height isn't quite optimal for his pedalling height. Optimal stroke, his knees aren't really straightening out too much. So I've gone way out ahead here, and I'm still expecting him to come up. I mean, he's there. I look behind me every now and again. I can see him there. I'm thinking, oh, he must be getting closer. But as we
oh my God,
encounter the rougher stuff, the suspension on the Focus is just far superior, and it allows me just to power over all that stuff. Plus I'm running 29s as well. He's got the 27.5. But the motor definitely does have a lot of power. I mean, you can see he's got the throttle on again, so obviously he's trying to catch me as quick as he can on some of these parts here. He's not even pedaling there, but he's got his throttle on, see? So, you know, it's the kind of thing with this bike where you can sort of really get a good level of assistance. It's just a matter of choosing the right line, the smooth line, or the smoothest line. Path of least resistance, basically, which is, I guess, what we all should probably try and aim for.
The suspension is ridiculous.
Yeah, I said to him, mate, you took your time, mate. And have a listen to him, he's not even breathing heavy. Like, this kid doesn't even breathe.
Oh, good.
Yeah, how's your heart rate, mate? You wouldn't know because he's not monitoring it, but mine was probably, you know, over 170.
Oh, the suspension is just pushing. It's you can hear it popping.
Yeah, there's a lot of noise going on that bike. Sounds like the derailleur is not quite engaged.
It's not the greatest, but you know, I'm out here. If I buckle a wheel, I'll buy a new wheel. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. But definitely need new front shocks, forks, as to say, and the shocks at the back, most definitely. But I'm out here for the same price, and people paying a lot. But
ooh, what's that?
what was that?
Still, you know, you can just pedal straight up that stuff. You struggle getting up there on the A bike, that is for sure.
We loop around. Let's go this way.
It is an easy climb.
I reckon my seat needs to come up. No, mate, my front wheels come loose. Let's tighten that shit.
So this has got the
Chinese town, mate. Loud and clear.
Yeah, so the front wheel is rocking one of those old school skewer kind of quick release axles, you know. I think it's only probably 6mm or something. It hasn't run, it's not running a boost hub with through axle or anything like that. Have a listen to me breathe.
I was wondering what was going on. The front wheel, every now and then I would hear it go bzzz.
Right.
It was...
But it's now it's tight.
Tight enough.
Oh, good. Tell you what, man, I mean, I was going hard, trying not to let you catch me, and I was waiting for you to catch me.
I was kind of just
and
like...
I knew it would be where it was flatter that you'd gain on me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, still pretty good. Still pretty good, for sure, definitely. But I made it up there first time. That's the first time I made it up one sweep in turbo. So there's another little bit similar to this just coming up, but it's not quite as steep.
Yeah, I'm fighting the Chinatown special.
Yeah, oh, it is what it is,
suspension.
Mate. Yep.
I reckon a couple of these and she'll be done for.
Yeah, we just upgrade your suspension, mate, and there's a way to go. Yeah, that's soft as. But no, all good, man. So far, so good.
Yeah, came a bit loose, but she's back on. What mode were you in all then, Turbo?
Oh no, I was in eMTB from basically when I got out funny. I went to eMTB, and just this last bit here I went in turbo.
Yeah, on the straights and shit and that, it's sort of cutting in and out because it's trying to figure out the cadence. That's what it is.
This is all new to you now, riding this on these trails. But this is a good introduction because, you know, there's some techie bits, but they're not super narrow and super gnarly. So you can, you know, start to hone your skills.
Yeah, well,
good. Oh, but it's good that...
yeah, the wheel was actually loose while I was riding that whole time.
Right.
So, but I think that's because it's skewer mode, eh? Skewer.
No, probably just wasn't done up in the socket, probably. But,
hopefully that doesn't damage it too much. Not ideal, but let's give it a go. Yeah, mate.
how you doing?
So how this motor works, it's cutting in and out because it's all got to do with pedal motion. I don't have a constant power. Makes sense? Like when you're going up the hill, it's... Yeah, because it's all got to do with cadence. Knowing how hard I'm pushing and how hard it's straining.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what he was talking about there.
Oh, it's just the suspension is lacking.
The motor is actually fairly quiet, you know, compared to the Bosch. I mean, you can hear it sort of wind up, but it's not quite as, it's a more of a low kind of, you know, a low frequency sound, where the Bosch is more of a whiny kind of, you know.
I can't overtake you on that terrain. I just can't do it because of the bloody rocks. I'm just trying to, but I'm behind you.
So I think if he puts, you know, a sort of half decent air shock on the back and some forks with some rebound adjustment, and you know, an air fork with preload and rebound, he should be able to get over all that rough stuff with ease, and he should be able to get the power down a bit better, because at the moment that spring is so tight, it's almost like you're riding a hardtail. It's really, really tight. We wound it right out and you could hardly compress it. So the spring rate on that is just massive.
Oh man, tell you what, my motor was cutting in and out there at around 26.1. It would cut off, and then I'm pedalling without the motor. So yeah, and you were doing what speed?
I was doing like 35, just
yeah.
cruising.
Yeah, so that'd be good if only these had that as its limit, you know.
The American one.
Yeah.
G'day.
So yeah, that old bugbear, the restricted speed on pedelec e-bikes. Obviously compliant with Australian laws. So I was going flat out, man. I was hitting about 33, I think, pedaling up a hill on leg power, past my engine, or past my motor power, and he's just got the throttle down, mate, and off he goes.
You're going too fast, you missed the turn off.
Didn't know where I was going.
I got to about 50, what's the say my top speed was? 55.3 on leg power, mate. What did you get on your electric power?
Oh, I was just cruising along. I was doing 58.6.
Cool.
Yeah, just got there quicker.
So there's your Dry Creek, Torrens Island power station, Port Adelaide, in the city. Not bad. See that look out there? A little track going up that grassy bit.
Yep.
That's where we're headed next. Oh, sorry, that one there. The brown one.
Yep, no worries.
Yeah, cool. So you'd have to be pretty happy with the way it's performed so far.
Yeah, it's like, how's this feel?
You know, for trails like this, you're doing, you know, you're going faster than I am, and you're basically, probably the only time you're really struggling is when you go over the bumpy shit.
And that's just lack of
Does the battery rattle around and shit, or anything? Make the noise rattle when you go bumps?
No, it's legitimately just the front suspension.
Solid.
But yeah, it is what it is, you know what I mean? I paid 1/4 of the price, so see how we go.
So this little bomb down here to the next lookout is quite quick and enjoyable. There were some walkers on the trail which they sort of pulled over to the right, and where I wanted to sort of launch off the edge there, so I had to slow down a little bit.
G'day.
But once I passed them, I let her rip. Took the high line there for a bit. There's a few little poppy kind of spots where you can get a little bit of air here and there. Yeah, we're hooking along, mate. I think this one was around about 60, 63 or something like that.
So, technical difficulty 1. Luckily enough for me, I wasn't pedalling. So, Bafang.
Oh, careful boy, don't get your fingers ripped off there, mate. I think you leant on the throttle and the chainring started spinning. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Yeah, the Chinese bikes don't have a lot of safety features, I don't think.
Alright.
Righto, so he's having some troubles with his China bike. I don't know whether his wheel came loose again or what, but he's something's happened. He's right down the bottom there. Here he comes. So bear in mind, this thing's a 750 watt peak motor. It's got something like a 780 watt hour battery, but it's only a 9-speed. It doesn't have a real big granny cog, and it's probably about 4 or 5 kilos heavier than my bike. But I hit 63 k's an hour going down that hill just over there, so I'm not sure what happened to him. So what happened, mate? Chain troubles or front wheel troubles or what?
Chain came off. I'd say that's because it's stretching in.
Chain came off, did it? Yeah, so you know what the problem is probably? That derailleur probably doesn't have a clutch in it.
Yep.
Because it's a low end derailleur. So if we just feel the chain...
Look how loose it is now.
Yeah, it doesn't have a clutch in it. So that's what happens when you go over rough stuff, especially quick. The chain bounces around so much, it comes off the cog, and that's when you get issues. So, but you know, all good. I got it to 63 k's coming down that. Did you break any speed records?
No, I didn't, because I had...
Because your chain came off, yeah.
It came off, mate.
Whereabouts did it come off at?
It come off at the front.
Yeah, even with that ring on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not, shouldn't be that loose, I don't think, should it?
It's the only reason is because you don't have a clutch on it. So what the clutch would do is it would hold this back real tight. So you feel the difference in mine, and like the chain, especially down the bottom here, because what happens is it comes off at the bottom. Yeah. And then it all just goes, you know, pear-shaped. But all good, man.
So it's gone in there. Luckily, I managed to stop pedaling in somewhat time. It scratched up the bolt in there a little bit, but that's about it.
Okay. So something to watch out for then. High speed downhill. So what you can do is, I guess, change your derailleur, upgrade that. You know, maybe you could upgrade a derailleur and a cassette, get even more range on it. But you know, for the price, mate, so far so good. It's faster than my bike as far as under acceleration goes. But yeah.
The question is it really a dual mountain bike?
Well, it's a dual suspension bike. The suspension is of a lesser quality, obviously. Okay. This thing here, which if you look at it from a distance, you think, oh, that looks like an air shock. But in fact, there's a coil spring inside there. This is literally like a rubber cover, and it's just got a spring inside there. So it's quite, what would you call, primitive. So, whereabouts did you buy this bike?
From the seller Green Energy on AliExpress.
AliExpress, okay. AliExpress. And how long did it take to arrive?
Well, when I first talked about it to them, I was asking did they have it in stock, and that was in October, and they said no, sorry, we don't have black. So I wanted it in black. And then they'd said that they'd notify me when it came back in stock, and that was about January 26th, a month later, a couple months later. And then I ordered it on that day, and how long did it take?
About 9 weeks, you said, roughly?
Yeah, over 2 months.
Okay. Now when you look at it from a distance, it's jet black, stealth. Look at the Focus. It's also jet black and stealth. I mean, you could almost turn around and say of equal quality, but obviously for the price. Now, how much did you pay for it?
Shipped, delivered to my door about
2,600. Okay. And mine was like 8.5 in total. Now, this thing can go faster than mine, because obviously this doesn't have the deep, it's not restricted, is it? Oh, well, it is up to a certain point, isn't it? Up to like 70 Ks?
Yeah, 60 Ks
yeah,
maybe, but that's
so for you know, riding on the road, you'd obviously be riding illegally if you're going over, well, put it this way, if I could pedal at 50 Ks an hour, right, under my own steam, and you could ride that under electric power at the same speed, I mean, who's breaking the law? We're not even speeding yet, you know, unless we're on a 40 zone. Do you know what I mean? This is where this whole thing becomes a little bit of a pain in the butt and a real sort of grey area. Because to me, if you're slow and you're on the road and you can't keep up with the car, especially in the city and stuff, I mean, you're probably causing more of a hassle. But the problem is, people don't expect bicycles to go as fast as yours would do on the road. So if you were riding on the road and you were wearing all your black stuff like you are now, and you were doing 60 Ks an hour, and you're coming up to a T-junction and a guy sees you, he probably just thinks, oh, he's a push bike, he's going to be slow. He pulls out, he T-bones you, and there it is. Then you get in trouble because the cops come along, they find out your bike is going too quick. It's not restricted to 25 Ks, and this is where it all starts to break down. And you know, in France, they actually define for riding a de-restricted bike on the road in France is something like $30,000 in loss of license. It's something ridiculous. 30,000 euros. They were talking about it on EMBN. So yeah, it's something to watch out for. But obviously on places like this, you know, as long as you're not, you know, scaring the hell out of walkers and you're not, you know, carrying on like an idiot, I think it's perfectly safe. And to be honest, you're having just as much fun as I am. You passed me coming up that last section there because it was relatively sort of, it leveled out a bit.
Yeah, it's definitely,
I was in front of you for probably, I don't know, maybe a third or maybe half of this ride so far, and then you sort of got in front, and that was it. But where the thing sort of falls down is over the really rough stuff. The suspension sort of, what was it doing? Was it bottoming out? The shock's bottoming out, or it's just you couldn't get the traction down? What was the deal? Was your bum, was it just too bouncy or something on the back?
Yeah, no, in the front, it felt like it was popping and rebounding. So I'd say nearly
too bouncy.
It's too bouncy.
Too bouncy. Oh right, I thought it would.
It was like too soft. It would pop and then it would.
Yeah, right.
And it was
because it really only has preload, 2 lots of preload and no rebound. There's no rebound adjuster. That's just a, what is that?
That's just a nut.
It's just a nut, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, and then obviously with the Altus derailleur, it doesn't have a clutch, so the chain did come off coming down a hill, hitting 60 odd Ks or whatever. So yeah, but for the money, man, I think it's a good lot of fun. And that battery is what, 780 watt hours or something?
820.
820 watt hours. Right, so I've got 625. And yeah, it's got a horn. Give us a press of the horn, mate.
It does have a horn.
Wow. So it's like a car horn.
So which is also an immobilizer.
So it's an alarm that will come on and someone tries to move the bike, is that what you're saying?
And it goes off. Yeah.
Right. And it's got the little headlight there built in.
And that's all light censored, so it knows what time of day it is.
Oh really? It comes on automatically?
It comes on automatically.
And the rear one, you have to turn that on manually, do you?
Yeah, that's a manual.
Okay, no worries. And
all 3 gifts came with pedals.
Came with pedals, yeah. You didn't have to buy extra pedals like on every other bike you buy on a bike shop these days. Nothing too fancy, but you know, that'll do the job. So run through your cockpit here, mate. What have we got? What's this thing here?
That is the cheating.
That's cheat mode, is it?
That's cheat mode. That's the throttle.
So you could literally pedal flat out, get up to speed, and then just stop pedaling and hold that down and just keep powering on.
That's what it is.
Right,
yeah.
right.
You can use it on its own as well. So if you just
But you wouldn't want to just leave it in like the hardest gear and then put it on, would you? Because you'd be putting strain on the motor.
You got to
go through the gears.
Go through the gears.
Right. So you literally can just sort of like hold the throttle down, go through the gears as if you're on a motorbike sort of thing.
Yeah.
When you change the gears, does it have that?
It has a
sensor, so it sort of backs off slightly, does it?
Yeah, yeah.
What do they call that? Like a shift sensor?
Yeah, gear sensor.
Right. Okay. That's pretty smart, because I don't even think these bikes have that. It's sort of, you just got to take it easy and, you know, manually control that yourself, I'm pretty sure.
But you're also learning to have to work it, because you're changing the gear and you're losing power. So if you're going up a hill and you're changing down, it's disengaging the motor for a second. So you got to...
Oh, right, yep.
You got to kind of...
Okay.
Play and learn.
Right, so it'll actually switches off just momentarily.
Yeah.
Right. It's obviously you've got your mode here and all that. Switch on your display for us. So, Accolmile. Yeah, I like that display. It looks really cool. It's got like a... It's hard to see in this light, but yeah, it's...
Do we want to take it over to the shade? Bring it over.
That's all right. That'll do for now. But you've got your trip meter. It's got your time. It's got your power in watts. Is it? Is that how much power you're putting out? And then it's got
that's the power in watts of the bike. I'd say both.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Knows how much. So what has it got? If we start, so it's got the odometer, the range, the trip, the maximum speed of the ride, the average speed of the ride, the time of. This is the time of that I've had the bike display on. Right. So in total, since I've got the bike, I've had the display on for 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Okay. Right. And there's your time up there, 11:35.
Yeah, that's...
Which is, yeah, cool. And you're still at 100%?
Yes.
Wow. What am I at? Actually, I think mine's turned off now. Yeah, mine's turned off now. If I turn mine on...
But then I can also go...
Mine's at 81%. Okay, so there you go. Crazy.
But and then if you go into the... You can go into the menu of the bike.
Oop.
Oop.
So you can, so if you put the throttle on, it actually, so you could use that like a walk mode. If you
yeah, so it does have a walk mode. So when you hold down the minus button or the menu,
so you can't just use the throttle, because that's too much power, isn't it? It's just like flat out.
It would be flat.
So that throttle, is it just on and off, or is it literally like, can you adjust the amount?
I think what it does, the way to work the throttle, depending on the assistance level. If you have it on, say, assistance 4, it will go up to the maximum level of assistance 4.
Right, but it's sort of like, it's just from on to off to on. It's not like not like you can go, you know, 1 watt, 2 watts, 4 watts, 10 watts. You know, like it's
definitely not that.
Right. Okay. Yep. Oh, that's still good. But yeah, you've had it now since when?
I think on a Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Like not even a week.
So this is the first kind of trail ride, so to speak, off-road, kind of climby, semi-techie sort of ride, and so far it's surviving. It's got the big kickstand on it, so you don't want to be going to the full gnarly stuff, and that's just going to get ripped off in no time. But yeah,
if you come over here and I'll go back,
and these brakes as well, they're big levers, and they're hydraulic as well.
They're hydraulic.
Yeah.
But if you hit the double tap the menu button, you can go in and change all the languages, the system, the brightness, the auto off. You can have it that the bike turns off if it's not moving.
Yep. So much control within the menu.
So, and then you go down here and you can go into more settings. So you actually set the bike, so you can have it, you put it that the wheel's 27.5.
Yep.
You can change the voltage of the battery, so if you want to get a longer range, you can turn it down to like 36 or so on.
So as far as the software goes, I mean, the customization's pretty advanced, so much more than what we're finding on all the high-end bikes.
Yeah, you can get a USB cable as well.
Yep.
Go and download people's...
And you can plug your phone in and charge at the same time. There's a USB port somewhere?
2 USB ports. It's got one in the display.
Yep.
Underneath the display to charge your phone, and then it's got one over here on the side of the bike.
Cool. So you could just put your phone on a holder and charge it up as you go, and
if you have to in emergency situations,
Yep. So the forks are Suntour XCM30. So they're, you know,
pretty bottom end, but you pay for what you get.
Exactly. These are the things you can upgrade, I guess. And as far as an entry-level bike goes, for you know, someone on a budget, well,
you'll certainly find its limitations if you start pushing it and getting really good, and then I guess that's the point where you go, well, okay, now I think I might get something that's, you know, but you could ride this for years and years, I reckon, at the level that you're doing now, still have heaps of fun, get fit, and yeah, so.
Other little novelty features, I don't know if the high-end bikes have it, but you can actually lock the bike out with a password, so you can't actually turn on the display. You have to put in a code.
Cool, cool.
Turn on.
Yeah, the only security feature that mine's got with the kiosk display is I've got mine screwed in tight, but you can have it so it just magnetises on there and you can pull that off. But you've actually got to go onto the Bosch account and pay a fee, a monthly fee. This is how the Germans engineer it, mate. And you can then have it so that it's a security feature, so that without it, no one can just put another one of these on and steal the bike. But you've got to pay extra for it. But there you go. Anyway, we'll catch you out on the trail. Cool, so now my GoPro's on. So it charged up to about 2/3 on that ride up off my battery pack. Let's keep going. We're going to swap bikes at the bottom of this hill, and I'm going to have a shot on the climbing aspect of it, just to sort of feel the Bafang power.
Yeah, you'll find it very strange, put it that way, but we'll see, because you'll be cutting in and out for you, not what you're used to, not having the torque sensor. But you'll be fine, you'll figure it out.
So stick around for the next one, and I'll
power it on.
Have a bit of a test ride on the Accolmile, rocking the Bafang.
Yep.
Catch you next time.